The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sack News. Sack News.
Radio.
Sack News. Sack News.
Radio.
Sack. Sack. Sack.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
In America.
Into the silo.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's the 11th of October, 2017. I am your host, Sackhead Sean. Sitting off to my right is the ever hairy, ever amusing, ever funny, ever scary Poloviating Zeppelin. Sir, good evening.
Ever hairy, yes. Ever funny, no.
Questionable.
Questionable. It's debatable. Depends on the timing.
Well,
Time of day, that kind of thing.
well, I appreciate
How I'm doing on my meds.
Yeah.
When was the last time I had a drink of vodka?
The
By the way, everyone knows that the humor quotient goes up, as does the alcohol content.
Yes, it does.
That's an axiom. I think that's another BZ axiom.
It is a BZ axiom.
Pretty sure it is.
For every ounce of liquid going in, it's every step of humor going up. I think that's a given. It's a given right here. Hey, listen, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we're both, or listening to us on Spreaker, you can go to shrmedia.com, click on the live/broadcast button. You'll be able to get down to the chat room if you want to join the conversation. BZ, I know the chat room's just starting to fill in slowly.
We got Mike in the chat room, so welcome to Mike.
Welcome to Mike. Obviously, Jersey Joe is off this evening. He's hopefully going to be back tomorrow night. Hopefully he's feeling better.
I think he fell from like the 34th story.
Yes.
And fell on his back, so he's not feeling too well.
From a banana tree is what I heard.
That's what I thought. Banana tree, very pretty, but
Right.
the banana flower is sweet.
Sweet.
But the fruit of the poor banana is impossible to eat.
Actually, it's quite good.
Is it really?
Yeah, no, yeah. I enjoy a good
Well, the
banana.
song was crap.
Yeah. Of course, deriving from the Lemon Tree song, Peter, Paul, and Mary. That's right.
By the way, I have some breaking news.
Yeah. Oh boy. Hold on. Wait. Is it worth this?
This is an SHR Media Network special report.
It's very brief, but it is accurate.
Okay.
This just in, breaking news. The Chicago Police Department has replaced all sirens with the national anthem in order to force suspects to stop running and take a knee. Now, see, they thought they could do it with gun control. No, it's just a matter of proper equipment replacement. That's all it is.
Well, and you know, it's funny with an advancement in siren technology, because you went, the Warbler came out a couple years ago, which if you've ever been in front of an emergency vehicle and you felt the car vibrate, that was a huge advancement for big city law enforcement to get through traffic and noise and all that. And now they've taken another step. And is it the good people at Wayland Siren Systems?
It very well could be, because I have accompanying this press release a photo of a what appears to be a Chicago Police Department Ford Explorer, and I'm sure somewhere in that grill is the appropriate speaker system for that vehicle. So that's good to know.
Suspects everywhere dropping to their knees like it's nothing.
I think that's a great thing.
And I appreciate it so much.
You know, that's considerable, because that's the Chicago Police Department marshaling their meager cash, and instead of I don't know, expanding with another 300, 400, 500 people, all they had to do is just hook up a different system into the siren. They didn't even have to change the equipment. It's just a little chip that goes into that, and it goes. Let's see, it goes whale, yelp, and Anthem. So if they set it to Anthem,
They got rid of high-lows?
right. No high-lows because we're not in Europe. So it goes whale, Yelp, Anthem, and that's how it does it.
Oh, that is brilliant technology right there. I'm glad. You know what? We finally have advancement.
That's Chicago thinking ahead. Good on them.
Who said Rahm Emanuel was a useless piece of shit? I did, actually.
Okay. All right, hands went up in the air, but. All right, Mike in chat wants to know where's the nose.
Oh, there is no nose like the nose knows. There is.
And no one knows the nose like the nose.
That's right. And if anyone knows where the
Does
nose
knows.
knows, it's the nose. And no GNUs is good GNUs without Gary
No
GNUs.
news comes out. News. GNU. That's an animal.
Absolutely.
No news are good news.
Yes.
It should. No news is good news, but no news and GNUS. No news are good news.
Right. And as long
Okay,
as
just
you
drop the phone. By the way, that's where the information from Chicago PD. By the way, I should like to tell you that that's the information. We broke that story right here on SHR. So I had to listen to Dan last night tell me about how that. By the way, Dan Butcher has a rebranded and all new media network.
Yes.
It's called the Lone Star News. So if you
Yes.
go to, and you have to write this all down, thelonestarnews.com. And now that's where you're going to find anything and everything that you could possibly want to see about news. And Dan was regaling to me information about how he broke a very significant story recently, earlier this week, about an officer who unfortunately was shot
Yeah, Texas Tech
at
University.
Texas Tech. And that's a terrible story in itself. We talked about that pretty much a good portion of last night, but he broke stories.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to let him and you and everybody listening right now and all the people listening in podcast, we just broke this story.
We just broke it right here.
SHR just broke that story.
This was actually an SHR Media Special Report.
It was. And well worth it.
Getting our money's worth out of
This
one.
is an SHR Media Network special report.
Perfect. Perfect.
So you heard it here first. And if you're not listening, well, you're going to miss stuff, important things like that
All the time.
in the future.
All the time. It's sad, but it's true. I was asked where the nose is. Obviously, surgery number 4 is underway. They brought in a specialist. So it's a little odd because this is not normally the type of guy that you'd bring in for rhinoplasty. And
No.
anyone who knows, Sackhead Clinic has been battling a horrific case of gigantor nose syndrome.
That's GNS.
Yes, and it's just terrible. It's terrible. So they actually brought in a guy who's a professional woodsman. He normally is used to cutting down trees, but he does so with amazing proficiency with the chainsaw. And they tried the flying chainsaw. It didn't work. After the second sky crane went down, it was tragic. But those saws were put directly into the motor, and one affected the other, and that just didn't work out. So they're going to try this route. If not, I know next week they have a stone guy lined up and a jackhammer team. So we'll see what happens.
A stonemason.
Oh yeah, concrete
Well, actually,
guy.
as far as I'm concerned, I think that's a great idea. By the way, just popped into chat, Dan Butcher, the man, and I called him the number one media guy, and you're gonna call him
Second best media newsman in the business. Old El Duce, the Deuce himself. Old number 2.
okay. What I'm trying to do as you're speaking is I'm
Yes.
trying to get a photograph of the piece of equipment that they're using
Oh, Lord.
on Clint's nose. So I'm searching for that right now.
If you could bring that up, that would be absolutely amazing.
trying.
Oh gosh. So I kind of want to go and start off right with the California wildfires. All joking aside, which we love to do here on the show, the tragedy that's taking place right now in Napa and Sonoma counties in California. There's wildfires other places right now, but this one is affecting entire cities and towns being wiped out by flame and fire. 21 deaths already been reported, over 200 still missing. The wind is supposed to get worse tonight. It's supposed to drive the fire worse tonight. The tragedy is only supposed to expand. Cal Fire, I mean, it's amazing to me how they're not even done putting out these fires, and people are already starting to complain about, well, why didn't they have a better fire plan, a fire attack plan? This is an impossible task, and I know I joke about the fire department on here on a regular basis, but in this sort of situation, I always joke about the fire department until something's on fire. But in this situation, you have this wall of fire moving at a high rate of speed, being whipped all over the place. And if you go on YouTube, Live Leak, any of those, and just search for some of the footage that has been taken from this area, it is horrific. Many people have lost their homes. People have died. It is a tragic and terrible situation.
It took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on with this, because you would think, and I've been listening to a lot of the journalists this past week. There is something odd about the whole thing. All the big fires, south and north, all started on Saturday.
Yes.
So to me, I'm not a big believer in coincidence. So I started looking to see if they had any idea of the cause of these particular fires, and they have not yet gotten to that point. And there's an article, for example, in the Wall Street Journal says deadly California wildfires ripped through once safe areas. 20 people have died, more than 200 are missing in fires tearing through wine country in Northern California. So if you look at Santa Rosa, and I almost worked for Santa Rosa at one time. I went and took their test. Beautiful community, about 160, 170,000 people. Mm-hmm. So it's not a little teeny town.
No.
And it's town-like in terms of it has asphalt streets, concrete, trees, homes, businesses, etc. So it's not like Santa Rosa is in the middle of a forest. It's not.
No.
So people may ask, well, wait a minute, how can a regular town like Santa Rosa light up? Well, it's pretty simple. It started up in the wine country where there is a lot of vegetation.
Ton of vegetation.
And moved basically southwest from the northeast.
Yep.
And because the winds this past week, especially, I went to Fleet Week on Sunday in San Francisco
Yes, you did.
Bay. And while I was there at Fleet Week, bobbing around in San Francisco Bay, a lot of us were commenting, what the hell? That can't be contrails and all the smoke from the jets. And even in San Francisco Bay on Sunday, we were seeing a significant impact because of the fire and the smoke. And initially people thought, well, that's just fine. That's just because all the jets were using the smoke, etc. And jets are kind of smoky anyway. No, those were the wildfires.
Yes.
But here's what happened. Even then, Saturday and Sunday, especially Sunday, driving out to the yacht harbor from the belly of the beast, the winds early in the morning were terrible, absolutely terrible. And they were saying 20, 30, 40 miles an hour. Well, on Sunday, in the Napa area, they were 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. So what happens, and people who have no concept of fires, haven't been around fires, it's very difficult to understand, but all the debris, detritus, glowing embers, things that are on fire don't just fall to the ground.
No, they go for a ride.
They get caught up in the air. So things that are literally burning are caught in the wind, and they're shoved, in this instance, southwest, and all basically burning shit started falling down on the entire city of Santa Rosa, lighting everything on fire.
Yes.
So people in Santa Rosa, they might, most homes I would guess are probably composite. But there may have been some people that still have wood roofs, etc., because you're not in a fire area. So anything that's flammable can easily burn, and did, and got so hot again from the combustible material. People don't think that this particular town is going to go up in flames. Santa Rosa has already been hit in the 60s from a massive earthquake. So they're already, we know they're in the fault line, but nobody anticipated. It's like the poor Monty Python line. No one expects a Spanish Inquisition.
No one expects a Spanish Inquisition.
True, and no one expects burning shit to fall all over your town.
Literally raining fire.
And that's exactly what happened because of the winds that were involved in this. Which is one of the reasons that I don't know what the update is today, but at least yesterday, it was 0% contained.
Yes.
0% because of the winds. And they thought, okay, the winds are going to die. Well, no, the winds have not died down.
At all. The
And
winds are actually worse tonight, they're saying.
Anybody that knows...
The town of Calistoga was ordered evacuated at 5 p.m. this evening, Pacific time.
I didn't even know that. I've been to Calistoga numerous times.
Yeah,
I had a friend that was working on the, oddly enough, the Calistoga Fire Department for a while. But the thing that people don't understand, especially if you live in the South and the East, is that inherently, just in and of itself, absent a drought, California this
Burns.
time of year is very dry. The humidity is low. The dew point is low. And now combine that with the fact that we haven't seen any rain of any significant proportion since, I don't know, maybe April or May, around in there. And Santa Rosa, Napa, etc., great ground for growing grapes, etc., but it doesn't get very humid here.
Not at all.
And so you have a low humidity and a dry area anyway with burning embers, etc.,
all bad.
and terrible winds, and that's the worst possible prescription that you could possibly have for a fire.
And there are people who don't even know if they've lost their homes because you're just out of this. You're ordered from the area, so you don't know if you've lost your home, what sort of damage you may have had. It's just truly tragic and horrific. And
300,000 people are expected to be impacted because of the wine industry. There are two main areas that are known for wine. One is in France. The other one is in Napa and Sonoma.
Yep.
In the vineyards around there, because the earth, for whatever reason, is a
Perfect.
great composite of wonderful growing loam for vines, for grapevines. And it said that essentially at this point, 300,000 jobs are gone like that.
Yep.
And they don't know if the wine industry in Napa and Sonoma is going to come back in the next 10 years.
Oh, God.
So, note to winos, buy all your stuff right now.
'Cause you may not get it soon.
It's not entirely impossible
That you won't get it
that
at
a
all,
lot of
maybe.
these vineyards, not only are they gone, some of these vineyards and companies may not be back.
Yeah. And you're talking about, when you start talking about the product, when you come to wine, you're talking about vines that are 120 years old or that strand.
That are extremely exclusive.
Yes.
Extremely viable. Extremely, well, a lot of this stuff is customized
Yes.
and grafted, etc. So there's a massive loss here. And a lot of people may say, well, screw it, I don't drink wine. Well,
Economy.
okay, that's almost immaterial because now you're talking about a significant job loss
Oh, huge.
in Northern California, coupled with those people who were possibly working in the vineyards
Yep.
or owners, etc.,
Distribution.
may have lived in Santa Rosa
Yeah. Oh,
and its environment
Yeah.
all around there. So you've possibly lost your source of income. Oh, that's right, and your house.
yeah. Sadly. That's
That
very true.
I can think of no combination of circumstances potentially worse than that. You've lost everything.
Yeah. It's horrific. And my heart just breaks for everybody down there affected. I without going into detail, we personally here on the show have been affected by it in some manner, or no, I should say we know people who have been. It's just horrible, and there's no good outcome right now. There's no outlook that's saying, hey, you know what, couple days we may get this under control. It's still blowing like crazy, and as long as that wind stays up, they're gonna have it jumps fire lines. There's a lot of tall trees just outside of Napa and Calistoga, and forest areas. So it's not gonna just stop, and until they get a couple days break from that wind. And if they can get the humidity to go up, which the forecast is not good for it right
They're
now.
not. You're not going to be able to get a leg up on it.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to get ahead of it. You can
Now
bring in all the equipment in the world.
The Napa fire, I think, is the Tubbs fire.
Yes.
And then there was another one.
Pocket fire.
Pocket fire, is that the one? Plus, there are a couple down in Southern California.
Burning that you don't even hear about right now.
They're not even they're not taking all the media that this is. At last blush, I think there were 17 fires going on in California right now. Now, you were commenting, it was very interesting. You were commenting that around here we have a number of airports.
Yes.
And you had seen one of the big firefighting planes.
Yes. It's insane. The 747 supertanker that has just been, it's still under a trial basis. It hasn't been fully approved to be contracted by CAL FIRE. They're using it on a trial basis. But they're all flying out of McClellan. And I can't remember the last time. I've been out in this area for 10 years. I've always worked near the McClellan, former McClellan Air Force Base, which is where the fire apparatus is stationed out of for all in NorCal. I've never seen so many sorties, if you will, being flown out of that airport, trying to get a heads up on this, and a leg up, rather.
Well, just before we got here, you and I went out to dinner, and we had some Japanese food. And,
yes, we did.
As we come outside after dinner, we look up in the sky, and it's getting dark already, and we hear some UH-60 National Guard helicopters going east, probably going back to Mather Air Force Base, because that's where the National Guard come from. Like you mentioned, they're probably out there firefighting in some fashion.
Yep, helping out
with that.
And you don't look at the amount of help that goes into this. So I've already seen firefighting trucks driving through the area from Nevada. I think I saw Utah. I think I saw Idaho. It is a big, humongous deal. There's also fires going up in Mendocino County where people have died. That's the other thing that's amazing. You want to talk about how fast these fires move. It is consuming people. 23 people so far have died as of 8 o'clock this evening, local time. 23 people to be killed by a forest fire tells you how quick it's moving. Yuba County is dealing with fires as well, which is just north of Sacramento, and they all popped up within the same time period, which is just bizarre.
Yeah, it all started pretty much on Saturday. Dan put this in chat. This is very interesting. CAL FIRE incidents. Incident management team, Atlas Fire, Napa, Solano counties, south of Lake Berryessa, northeast of Napa, 42,000 acres, 3% contained, significant structures destroyed.
Yes.
Patrick Fire, Napa County, west of Napa. That's a new one, 9 acres. Nuns Fire, Sonoma County, Highway 12, north of Glen Ellen. Another fire in Sonoma County, near Boise. The Presley Fire, Sonoma County, east of Rohnert Park, 473 acres. Now you're starting to, when you're talking about Rohnert Park,
you're getting into San Francisco.
Now you're starting to kind of push into the Bay Area a little bit.
Yes, you are. North Bay.
Yep. Mendocino Lake Complex, 2 fires. CAL FIRE Incident Management Team, 29,500 acres, 5% contained, significant structures destroyed. Sulphur Fire, Lake County, 2,500 acres, 40% contained. Wind Complex, 4 fires. Cascade Fire, Yuba County, Loma Rica area, 12,349 acres, 20% contained. Lobo Fire, Nevada County, Rough and Ready area. I don't like to hear that. That's starting to push up towards me.
Yes, it is.
857 acres, 30% contained. Multiple structures destroyed. McCartney Fire, southeast of Grass Valley, 76 acres, 65% contained. Again, up near the fat guy right here. The Point Fire, Calaveras County, Highway 26. Cherokee Fire, Butte County. Honey Fire, Butte County. The 37 Fire, Sonoma County, Highway 37. The Ridge Fire, Lake County. Jones Fire, Shasta County. Holy crap.
All burning right now. Right now as we speak. And I was commenting earlier, and you know, obviously our thoughts and prayers are with the people that have to deal with these horrendous fires. But I was commenting earlier how I'm already seeing people complaining about how, you know, maybe we need new firefighting strategies, or maybe we need to change, or maybe CAL FIRE isn't taking it. Folks, this is one of those things that's like an earthquake. You can have all the preparation in the world for it, but
with some exceptions, and some significant exceptions.
You also have to understand that a fire is ask any firefighter. It's alive. It's living and breathing. It moves however it wants to move. Wind can impact it, humidity, structures, etc. But You get that wind, and if it's blowing, say, north all day, and you're doing your work to the north to do these fire break lines and cut down trees to keep it from jumping, you do all this work, and then at the last minute the fire decides to go east, well, now it's ahead of you again because you only could do what it's giving you for information. You can only get out ahead of what you know. There's no way to know what the fire is going to do. It's based on the wind. It's based on fuel. It's based on so many other different things that these guys and gals coming from all over the West Coast to help fight these fires, they're up against it.
I'll give you a quick story, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this in public before. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away in the 70s, I worked for KFBK Radio, and I was sent up Highway 50 to cover a fire that was occurring in Placerville. And so I was in the middle of Highway 50, standing in Placerville, and unbeknownst to me, I had a little cassette recorder. Hey, remember cassette recorders,
Hell
people?
yeah.
So I was, Mr. KFBK because I had my little press pass, and I had my cassette recorder and my little microphone. And I was valiantly looking for someone to interview.
Live from the Highway 50 fire, the
That's
Below
pretty
Zeppelin,
much up in
KFBK.
in the city of Placerville. Behind me, over a ridge, was a massive explosion of flames. If you've ever been around a steam engine, you could say a steam engine is live. You can hear it inhale and you can hear it exhale. And a lot of people qualify that, my God, steam engines are actually living. I had the occasion to almost have to change pants because I can attest to the fact that fires can be live as well.
Yes.
And I, to this day, swear that I heard an intake of air and an exhalation of air. And then, this is the part where you're going to laugh, is as I'm standing right in the middle of Highway 50, I hear a plane go by. And I thought, damn, that was low. And I start to look up. And as I start to look up, I got splattered with pounds and pounds of orange crap. Really greasy, viscous orange crap.
Oh, outstanding.
So the little, at that point, young, thin guy got hit by fire retardant. And let me tell you, just like you think, just like you see, number one, it's orange.
Yes,
And
bright.
if you don't think it's orange, holy crap. Number two, it doesn't come off of anything.
Ever?
Nothing. It doesn't come off your skin, doesn't come out your hair, doesn't come off your clothing. You just can't throw it away and get rid of that. You can't put it in the washing machine. You would not want to do that. So I had to get into the KFBK Plymouth satellite station wagon at the time. Boy, that dates. Because I ran like a bastard west. And it's like BZ going like the Fred Flintstone. As fast as my feet would get. I got into that car, raced away, got on the radio and chatted about it a little bit. I'm covered head to toe in this orange crap. And when everything was said and done, I had to clean myself numerous times. It took me a couple of days to do that. What nobody could get in the car because I ruined the automobile when I got into it. I completely ruined the seats. It was a bench seat. And I got that crap on the steering wheel. I got it on the dashboard. I got it on the seats. I got it on the side of the door. I got it down on the wheel wells.
Oh, man.
They hated me for it, mostly because I didn't do anything live.
Right.
But I couldn't because we weren't live and I was just sent up there with a microphone to go capture stuff. Like I say, I can laugh about that now, but I didn't realize how close I was
back then
to that fire.
Oh, no, it's scary. Forest fires and wildfires, as they call them now, are completely frightening. And, you know, our thoughts and prayers to the people that lost everything. And, of course, with the firefighters who are out there, very, very dangerous job. And they're trying to get ahead of it, and they're trying to stop this disaster from spreading. And we wish them nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, we're up against a break.
Yes, we are.
When we come back, I want to discuss the NFL. Some major changes today from the NFL office.
Does that stand for not for long in terms of viewership?
Very well could be. All that and more here on the Sackheads Radio Show live in the SHR Media Network.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
You're listening to us, all right. Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us. As we come back,
hey, we got Mike in chat, we got Dave Milner in chat, we got Dan Butcher in chat, and count them, two
Viewer
viewers.
1 and Viewer 2?
Viewer 1 and Viewer 2.
Oh, they're fighting it out.
No one better.
They're fighting it out.
Hey.
Yes.
The NFL. Not for long.
National Felon League.
That's right, because I think the NFL is a perfect example, and I'm asking this of you. Don't you think the NFL is a perfect example of systemic oppression?
Yes. Absolutely. It has been proven time and again. When 87% of your employees are people of color, and they are the highest paid employees, that is oppression.
Of the nth degree. I cannot think of a group of individuals more highly repressed than the average NFL football player.
Yeah.
Hey, just ask Eric Reed of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
He says it's all about the systemic oppression, and my God, he must be right.
So, I don't, unless you were living under a rock, you are well aware of the NFL and the kneeling protests that have been going on this weekend. Sunday, I believe, Vice President Mike Pence went to the, was it San Francisco and the Indianapolis Colts game?
Yeah, I think so.
Where they were honoring Peyton Manning, who obviously retired from football a couple years ago. Long-term, excellent.
quarterback.
Guy I hated as a New England fan. I hated to face, but I loved to watch him play. He was an amazing quarterback.
You know, when he got injured for Denver, frankly, I didn't think he was coming back.
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
And
Done,
somehow he did
gone.
it. Somehow he did it. But either way, under the one parameter is if there was kneeling, he was going to leave, and he did get up and leave as soon as the kneeling started. Now people called it a political stunt. He knew he was going to. He knew they were going to kneel. Blah 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 blah. Simple facts of the matter is A, he has the right to kneel. I mean, he has the right to leave, I should say.
He has the right to leave.
Yep.
And all those players have the right to kneel.
To a point.
Unless
the owners say something.
It's in their contract.
Exactly. But here's the thing, and I've heard this argument time and again, and I say this time and again. First and foremost, if I was the NFL, if I was the owners, I'd be pissed that these guys are hijacking the platform that I created for football. I'm the one who creates these stadiums. I pay their salary. I bring it in. The NFL allows it, allows the teams to play in the NFL. I bring the fans in. I do the concession. I do all the work. These guys play football. And not to undermine athletes and their gifts, at the end of the day, you play a sport for a living. This is not a political platform. I cannot go into my job and start making, as a matter of fact, I go through specific training at my job about how politics are not allowed in the workplace.
Isn't that funny how that works out?
And it's everywhere. You're not allowed to do it. And then you're also wearing a uniform. You are, at the end of the day, no different than a waiter at a restaurant. You wear the uniform. You work as a team. You do the best that you can with the time that you have to perform. And I'm not undermining waiters. As a matter of fact, waiters and waitresses, it's the exact opposite. It's a very grueling job. Waiters and waitresses, they're on their feet all day. They're running around. They're lifting heavy stuff. I'm saying that the NFL players should not have themselves up on a platform when they're employees like everybody else, like I am, like you were, everybody else. You're an employee. You work for somebody else.
Exactly.
You get told what
to do.
A
job.
Yep, and that's what it is. So, and it was a losing battle, and everybody in the country knew it. Everybody knew it was a losing battle. You have the major metropolitan areas where more people were supportive, but you get into quote-unquote flyover country, you get into 80% of the country, people were sick of it. There was a news poll that came out 2 weeks ago saying that 75% of the country opposed kneeling for the national anthem and was sick and tired of seeing it. You also look at the NFL ratings, dropping like a stone.
Perfect example. Absolutely stellar example. Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, two longtime rivals. I mean, usually historically great football. Last Monday night's football, 2 nights ago, lowest ratings ever for Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Now, let's see. Can we ascribe that to woodland fires? No, I don't think so.
Nope.
How about to hurricanes?
Nope, not going to happen.
Nope, not hurricanes. Let's see. Tidal pull.
Nope.
Sunspots.
Nope.
Bad teeth. Delayed borborygmus. Flatus. No, I don't think any of those things
No,
apply.
it has to do with kneeling. Outright kneeling.
Period.
Because
End
up
of
until kneeling
statement.
started, you couldn't get into a stadium. The ratings were through the roof. I watch football. I haven't this year. I haven't watched a game this year. I started to watch a game on the opener, and I had to turn it off. I know people who are canceling their NFL Sunday ticket on a regular basis. Yes. I know people who are getting into fights with other family members over it because they're canceling the Sunday ticket because they don't want to support the league.
Dish is having trouble with that.
Yeah, losing money.
What's the other one that
DirecTV?
DirecTV.
Yep,
they're having issues. NFL ticket prices are actually going down.
Yes,
now
concessions are going to be.
I
going
wrote
down.
a tweet. Didn't mean anything. Made me feel better, I guess, to the NFL, and I said 1 week to the day after the shooting in Las Vegas. If these fucktards take a knee, I'm done. And I don't care what they do to get me back, I'm done.
Yep.
They took knees, I'm done, I'm gone.
Exactly.
Oh, BZ, what if they apologize and atone? Number one, they're not going to apologize.
Nope.
Number two, they're not going to atone. This is a thing, and they can do their thing as long as they want.
Right. As
And
long
I
as
can
the
do
money's
mine.
there.
Because do you know what the NFL is? The NFL is discretionary money.
Yes.
It's not mandatory money. It's play money. It's I can put it here. I can put it there.
I
I
choose
can
to
go
put it on
drink
the NFL.
vodka. I can hit my head with a hammer. Or
Absolutely.
I could watch TV. Or
Absolutely.
I could go to the games. Or I could purchase NFL merchandise. Or I can decide that I'm not going to do any of that stuff and I'm not going to purchase tickets. And then when the games start tanking and then the NFL owners can't buy new stadiums. Oh, wait, new stadiums. How do
Taxpayer money.
Sean, how do those get built?
Taxpayer money.
Wait, is anyone that I can think of, anyone you can think of, thinking about saying, maybe we should rethink that taxpayer cash? to
Well,
the
maybe I won't pay a
NFL?
local tax until this is solved, because now it does affect me.
Hmm.
And that's forced. I don't have a choice. The government is using my money to support these stadiums. That's a reality. It's amazing how much after President Trump was installed into office and he made a couple of comments, people went insane. Absolutely insane. How dare he?
Let's go back though a little bit. Let's go back. I don't know. When did the NFL start playing? August. When did the full-time games
September.
start? August.
August, late August,
Okay.
early September.
So let's see. Didn't Roger Goodell back in late August say, I am standing with my players.
Yes.
They have a right to do whatever they want and whatever they've decided. I am standing with my players.
Yes.
Didn't he say that, or words to that effect?
Yes.
Let's see. KansasCity.com, sports, NFL. Roger Goodell tells NFL owners, quote, everyone should stand for the national anthem. Now, I have a question for you, Sean, and for the listeners, people in podcast listening live and in chat. What one major revelatory factor may have been involved in Roger Goodell's decision between August and October? Folks,
What has happened?
Folks, what do you think?
What is, gosh, this is a tough one.
I know, it is.
I want to know what's come off so much that.
Wait a minute. Are we talking the spice must flow? Wait a minute. Did someone just interrupt the flow of spice?
What?
What?
What? Yeah, it comes down to money, plain and simple.
Oh no, interrupt the money flow, and all these arseholes start getting in line, including Roger Goodell.
Yes.
Imagine that.
He got in line like a school kid on pizza day. It couldn't happen fast enough. It couldn't happen fast enough. All of a sudden, here we are, October, a month into the season, just over a month. And after the lashing that people have given the NFL all the way around, Goodell says, well, maybe guys, we're going to make. Why don't we
Can you imagine?
Why don't we stand up?
Wouldn't you like
Why
to
don't
be
we stand up, guys?
the fly on the wall? Just pick an owner.
Oh, yeah.
Any owner. Pick an owner.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes something like this. Roger Goodell's office. Give me Roger. Roger. You better get them guys stop kneeling because I'm losing cash out here.
But here's the problems, too. The owners are just as culpable as Goodell.
Yes, they are.
When you allow this and those players work for you, you allow it.
They're employees.
Yes.
And here's the systemic oppression. I guess this is great because now being an employee is oppressive.
Yes. Oh, God.
They're just slaves.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What about the guy that goes into a coal mine
every day
and comes back up, and if it's a Caucasoid, he looks like a black guy by the time he gets out of the mine? Well, that's slavery too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. On some level.
Oh, wait, except he makes a wage.
Oh, wait.
Oh, and...
Oh, wait. Are you
so-
saying he's just an employee at that point?
Yeah, so I guess are the football players just employees?
Well, and at what...
Oh, no!
And at what point do you have to play football? You can quit at any time. Hey, look at Colin Kaepernick. He essentially quit.
Certainly.
He made some comments that made people not want to employ him. He might as well have walked into a job interview with a tattoo on his face that said, fuck you.
This is great, though. This is great. 2 points. Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
And now, all of a sudden, Colin Kaepernick, who started all of this, the young man who is biracial, he is half black and he is half white. He is adopted into a home that raised him and put him through college. He had every opportunity in the world. He had lovely parents. I know their opinions have changed, but they seem like lovely people. He started this because he felt that people of color were being oppressed under this flag by law enforcement and police brutality. So he started this kneeling. Amazingly, he threw like shit the next few games and found himself out of a job.
Bye-bye.
Still out of a job. Wasn't that great of a quarterback to begin with. Mostly was the option. He's an option passer. He runs. There's not a lot of people looking for that type of quarterback. And he brings controversy to a locker room, which if you're an owner, you have to be concerned about that. If you have a team that really wants to compete, you want your team to be the focus, not have this guy be the focus. And Kaepernick, who's standing tall, standing by his message, this is more important than me.
Are you going to
Black men are being oppressed.
You're going to Bigfoot me, aren't you?
I am absolutely going to Bigfoot
You're
you.
going to Bigfoot me.
Here's the man who absolutely
I knew it.
is going to stand by his laurels and for the flag if the price is right.
Do it.
What a shill. What a shill.
Okay, you Bigfooted me because the Colin Kaepernick quote was, if you hire me, I'll stop kneeling.
Yeah.
There's your morals for you.
I will stand.
There's your convictions. Stand behind your convictions.
I will stand in a
Kaepernick.
plate. I will stand in a plate of fire if you hire me right now.
Hire me. I just want to play football.
My girlfriend and all of these, they're all running through all this money that I made, and I had I love the oppressed guys driving the Maseratis and the McLarens and all this.
Listen. One thing we don't understand, us plebes, okay, is we don't understand. Do you know how much a tune-up for a Maserati is?
Oh, God.
Okay, so they need it. They need all that
set of
cash.
brake rotors on a Ferrari 15K.
Oh, hell, yeah. You ever try to replace Brembo brakes?
No.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I have never even seen Brembo brakes in person. I've heard of them.
I think I visited a stripper one time in San Francisco whose name was Brembo Brakes. She was pretty hot.
Mark, what's the chat room saying about this? Because I know for a fact.
Actually, I like the point about Brembo Brakes. Hey, White Mamba's in chat. I'm killing myself. White Mamba's in chat. Hey, Whiskey Dale is in chat.
Hey, Whiskey Dale.
The Hugh Hewitt traitor. God love you, Whiskey Dale. Glad to see you here.
What are they saying?
You want to hear the basically Dave Milner said, Sean, bam, bam. Here's one of the best parts, though. I don't know if folks you were aware, but Colin Kaepernick was on the cusp of being hired by the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
So just before the final negotiations, the girlfriend of Colin Kaepernick thought it would be a great idea to send a racist email to the owner of the Seattle Seahawks. And does that mean that...
I'll tell you what, that's absolutely fine.
Colin Kaepernick doesn't play for the Seahawks right now? No! Didn't see that coming. How could you possibly see that if you do something like that, there would be a consequence? In a perfect world, there should be no consequence for something like that. And damn it, he should have been hired.
And you and I both know anytime any other team called, he was like, all right, now, honey, do me a favor.
Yeah.
This time, don't send the email, please.
Stay the fuck off social media.
I believe in our cause and stand against the man and all of that stuff, but just put put the social media down, please? Because I'm trying to make $27 million a year to throw a dead animal
That's right.
around a field to other guys, and this is kind of a biggie.
And
I love you, princess. Love you, baby.
And if they hire me, by the way, I'm not going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell other people in media, if you hire me, I'll stop kneeling.
I'll stop
That
kneeling.
Colin Kaepernick, that virtuoso of integrity. My God, he took a platform, he took a knee, and he ran with it. And you can't change him. He is resolute.
Oh, it is absolutely astounding. I'm
Money,
not
money,
even
money,
exaggerating. You can't make this stuff up. There is no way. Oh.
If I had a producer,
It walks and bullshit talks.
if I had a producer, you'd hear the OJ's money right now. But I don't have one. I never had one, and you don't have one. Wait, stop. You guys did have a producer.
We
at one
did have
time.
a producer. We kind of failed miserably, apparently. Here's the deal. At the end of the day,
Jesus, all this stuff is so stupid.
you can't make it up.
No. Anymore, you can't make
you just
any
can't.
any of this up.
No.
This just in. Guest 17 just entered chat. Guest 17, great to see you because we always say about Guest 17,
Wonderful
you're
things.
so much better than
Guest 16 was.
Thank you.
Absolutely. 17's always been there for us, and we appreciate you, Guest 17,
That's
in
right.
chat at
Right on 17.
shrmedia.com.
Thank you.
Oh, God, yeah, no, Cap. It's just, I'll stand.
This stuff writes itself. I always say that because it's like craziness never stops.
There was a movie with Chris Klein years ago, and I think it was called I don't remember what it was. But essentially, the long story short is he was trying to chase after his girlfriend, and he kept getting kidnapped by all these people. But he befriends, and it's Orlando Jones, who is an absolute riot of a comedian, who is a pilot, but he was a Vietnam-era pilot. He had no legs. But the quote of on his business card for his pilot service is, "I'll fly up your ass if the money's right." And that's exactly what I think of anytime I see something like what just happened with Kaepernick. I'll fly up your, I'll stand if the money's right. I don't give a shit anymore.
And so here's the bigger question is, now that he said that, what do the rest of these players who were holding Colin Kaepernick up on this massive, godlike platform? I mean, this is
and
the
they
guy.
were.
This is he's the inspiration for us all. He provides inspiration for the oppressed and the poor people all around the nation and the planet.
He's standing for them.
And he's the guiding light that gives us hope. Hope for the hopeless. He provides it.
Yes.
Except now, how do they feel now that Colin Kaepernick said, well, it really doesn't mean anything. I'll screw it for the money.
Oh, Cap. If I were, and this is what an ass I am, and maybe this is just me, right? I'm kind of a jerk, and we all know it, right? If I was an NFL owner, I would say I was Bill Belichick. I'd say, hey, Cap, I'm going to sign you to 1-year contract. League minimum.
Ooh, how embarrassing.
However, you'll have a job and an opportunity. But when you're not throwing the football, you're handing all the other guys water.
Oh, you are an arsehole, aren't you? Wow. You may potentially be a larger sphincter than I thought. Okay, chat's talking about the World Series. Okay, so what do you think? Cubs? Sox? What?
Well, it's not Sox. Sox got knocked out by the Astros. The Astros were a much better team this year. Gosh, who do I see in the World Series?
Mary Brockman just stopped in. Mary Brockman,
Hey,
good
Mary.
to see you. Hello. She just stopped in to see what condition your condition was in.
My condition is
Yes.
being conditioned.
Yeah,
As we
exactly.
speak. My condition. Oh, boy. I don't know. It's too early. You know what? A month ago, I might have had a better idea. I am not a Yankees fan. Anyone who's ever listened to the show for an extended period of time knows that I do not root for the Yankees. But reality is, they're all of a sudden they've caught fire at the right time. CC Sabathia, I don't know what the score is tonight in the
I'm Harry Caray. We gotta say, go for those Cubbies.
I don't know.
Those Cubs.
I don't know what the score is right now. It's 5-0. Sabathia was throwing a gem. He's pitched better than he has his whole year, in maybe 2 years. It could very well be the Cubs and the Yankees. I'm not going to lie. I think the Yankees hit their stride just right. I hate to say it. It's killing me to say it. I don't want to say it. But where I'm standing, that's what it kind of looks like. So, I don't know.
So you think... Wait. Dave Milner in chat says, Mark, that's not right, dude. I think perhaps he was
talking about your Harry Carey impression.
My Harry Carey impression.
Yeah, no, it's
go those Cubbies.
It was yeah, that's what I think. But to wrap up on the NFL, look, they're just trying to save face at this point, and dear God, I hope people stick by it. Look, if you want to go back and watch football next year or whatever, I'm not. The message has been sent, which, by the way, America, here's a little hint. These big, giant corporations that you don't like or you get mad at and you're these Antifa people or whatever, or it was big banks a few years ago, all of these different things, you have the power to change it, just like you did with the NFL.
Sure.
And
just stop buying everything.
Stop buying. Turn them off. Turn them away. Don't go to the
everything.
Bank. I can't tell you how many times I saw it. The sad part is, in order for it to actually happen, it took a football game. You had big banks with bad mortgages 10 years ago, right? Everyone, what am I supposed? I hate these big banks. These big banks suck. They steal money out of people's pockets. Blah, 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 blah. Corporate America, blah, blah. Are you using a Bank of America ATM? Yeah, it's the only way I can transfer money easily. They have online checking, and I need that. Well, I thought you hated them. Well, they're the only one that offers it.
I'm going to say something that will probably get me terribly excoriated in chat or when people listen live or they listen in podcast or they're watching live on YouTube or they're watching Facebook Live or they're on the LoneStarNews.com TV and they're watching us or on Spreaker. You know, folks, back in 2008, what did it take? What does it always take? It takes two to tango, correct? Mm-hmm. It takes a lender and it takes a borrower. Now, for those people who thought they could get a McMansion and they made $1,200 a month, and this guy's trying to talk you into a house that costs $790,000
and said that you could swing it
and says, dude, you got the grit to pull this off. Did no one in your household say, wait, maybe we should think about this just a little bit because how do you get what percentile and see? Those are all questions. Right. And it's like Carl Gambino opens the trunk of a Fiat and says, I got a really good stereo in here.
How much?
It's the best one, and it's $3.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, I'll take it.
There's a problem
and
with
you
it.
get it home, you open it up, and it doesn't work.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
And you open it up, and it doesn't work, and then it sparks and burns your house down.
Right.
And you were not complicit in that at all. And so people
you own no part of it.
That's right. And so people who took loans making 79 cents a month and thought that they had the grub to be able to afford a $790,000 house, well, that makes sense.
But to go back to my point.
Jesus Christ, you morons.
This is twice this year. Morons. Major change has been brought by the masses.
Yes.
Doing the right thing
and
standing up for what's right. You had the election of Trump.
Yep.
Which, whether you agree or disagree, does not matter. The reality is
it happened.
He was different. People wanted different, and he got elected. Same thing with the NFL. The pressure came down. People started to walk away. People were canceling hand over fist to get out of there.
And they still are.
And all of a sudden, Goodell goes, maybe we should just be responsible.
I want to throw one final lance at the NFL after
Right now?
we come back from the break.
Oh, okay. We can do that after the break.
Just one. Just
we'll,
one
We'll
final
wrap up
lance.
the NFL, and then we have a lot more to get to here
Oh,
on the
boy.
Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reverb Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Thank you, Joe. Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live in the SHR Media Network. www.shrmedia.com.
That's a great stinger. I like that.
That is a good
Jersey
stinger.
Joe.
Joey nailed it. As always, he's a great dude.
One final observation that I'd like to make because
Wait, I haven't done all the shit.
You want to?
I got to do all the shit first. Make sure you jump in a live chat, shrmedia.com. Watch us on Facebook, YouTube. Listen to us on Spreaker. You can find us on Twitter as well. Make sure you check out all the great hosts right here on the SHR Media Network. Are you ready, sir? Because obviously you were chomping at the friggin' bit.
Well, number one, I feel naked. There's no Diet Pepsi.
Oh, God.
What happened?
God, don't even put that in anyone's head.
One final observation.
I don't ever want you to say, I feel naked again around me, please.
I know, that's
all right?
some things once seen cannot be removed from the brain.
Well, and mentally, I'm in one place where I'm all happy and ready to go with the show.
and then I say that shit.
And things are good, and visually, things are astounding right now. And then all of a sudden, you're like, I feel naked, and I might have thrown up in my mouth a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
This is one point where you say, thank God there's 20 feet between us.
And I may or may not have a firearm on me.
That's right. And by the way, what is under that kilt anyway?
Ring ding did a little
All right, that shit's
audio.
not
Ring
funny. It's
ding
not
did the IO. I wonder if it's true what they don't wear beneath the kilt. Remember that one?
I do.
Dr. Demento.
Yep, I do. One final thing.
I just sang that on the air. Jesus.
And you have a great voice, too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very
From
much.
Maxim.com.
Oh, always good.
ESPN suspends Jameel Hill after tweets about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' protest policy.
Banana, banana.
Can you say Schadenfreude? I can, and just
Schadenfreude?
did. Plus, Mike Ditka weighs in about the worst take of them all. So, Jerry Jones basically said that he wants all of his players to stand. So that lovely ESPN anchor who said something ridiculously stupid and was warned, hey, don't say anything ridiculously stupid again. We may actually have to do something about it this time. So it turns out that she was suspended 2 days ago on Monday.
She said, hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah, by ESPN, who is
Dumbass.
the worldwide leader in sports, just asked them for the second violation of that network's social media policy. So Jameel Hill's tweets, it came in response to Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones saying that he would bench, players.
Anybody.
And let's say what she wrote. Here's the exact tweet. This play always works. Change happens when advertisers are impacted.
Yes.
If you feel strongly about JJ's statement, boycott his advertisers.
Good idea for ESPN as well,
right.
and
See,
the NFL.
That's right. Jameel Hill
Brilliant,
is
Jameel.
making money. She's getting a paycheck from ESPN, whose job it is to promote sports, because if they didn't promote sports, there wouldn't be ESPN, and she's essentially saying, don't promote sports. So essentially what she's doing is telling ESPN, blow me, and I can do anything that I want. And I never thought about the fact, because I can't think this far down the line, is that if I blow up ESPN and I blow up sports, I kill my paycheck.
Did you ever see the old...
What the hell?
I don't remember if it was Tom and Jerry or Bugs Bunny, but whoever it was, they had the gun and they'd slide it through the curtain, and every time they slid it in, the barrel of the gun itself would come out the other side right to their forehead. That's exactly what was going on with this to her career. Not her, but her career. She'd put it in and hit herself in the side of the head and be like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah. Dave Milner says, Mark, hit him with Helen Thomas in a G-string.
Oh,
I did that one time.
You...
I said that one time.
You hit me with that? Oh, I was going to say.
I did say it one time on the air.
So, God. It's so bizarre to me to think that she absolutely destroyed her own career.
And further, I guarantee you, she still to this day does not and will not understand why she was suspended.
Yes.
She will have and cannot have, she cannot grok the concept of loyalty to one's employer if you wish to continue.
If you don't like what's going on, you boycott that owner's. Hey, Jameel, there are a lot of people who don't like what you're doing right now, and our advertisers are getting pissed. So here's a week on the beach, sweetheart. Have fun, and we'll see you on the other side.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many people, folks, do you think are lining up right now for her job?
Banana.
Who would love to be on ESPN?
Remember,
no one.
This is the same organization that pulled a guy from a Virginia Tech game earlier this year because his name was Robert Lee.
Yeah.
And they're worried that they're going to offend people. He was fucking Asian. I don't know. If you want to talk about just... If they had done it right the first time, and remember, this is also the same organization that canned Curt Schilling because he admitted he was a conservative.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Right? So if they had dealt with Jameel the first time when she tweeted about the president, and they had suspended her then maybe this wouldn't have happened. But no, wait a minute. For some reason, the Asian guy lost his gig. The Curt Schilling, the white guy, lost his gig. Jameel is a woman of color who hosts one of the shows. She tweets something horrific. It's ignored. But now Now that she heard her own brand, see, before when she tweeted about Trump, it wasn't about ESPN, so it didn't hurt the brand per se.
Right.
It brought a little bit of scrutiny, but it didn't hurt the brand. She literally said, hey, stop watching ESPN if you don't like me. In so many words. And that's exactly, and then all of a sudden, she was suspended. It's a lot like Kaepernick standing up when the money's right. ESPN stood up when the money was right. They did what was right when the money was right, when it affected their fucking paycheck. That's when they decided to do something. The Asian guy got the hook. The white guy got the hook. Black female? Yeah.
Not so much. Again, those are what we call twofers.
Twofers.
So, in chat, and I'm not going to say it's better than, but Mary Brockman, I would submit, has an equal to.
Yes.
Just because I'm me and I'm prejudiced. Mary Brockman said, how about Michael Moore in a jockstrap?
Oh.
Okay. All right. So, Mary, I'm not saying yours surpasses mine, but I will say it's pretty much right up there.
Why is everybody in our chat and you trying to hurt me? I was having such a good night.
That's true.
Such a good night.
That's true. Oh, I forgot to show everybody. I finally found the photograph of the piece of equipment that's going to be operating on.
On Clint?
On Clint.
Okay, hold on. Let me
hold it up to the camera.
I'm gonna zoom on your camera right here. We'll make it nice and big for you. There we go.
It's made by Bucyrus.
Yeah, and just that little choppy part.
Yeah.
That little choppy part will get on his nose, and
So
they'll just bite it away piece by piece.
This is the piece of equipment that's going to be operating on Clint's nose. It may already be doing it. It may have done it yesterday, and may continue to do it tomorrow as well. So I just thought that in terms of interest, people would be interested in seeing what kind of equipment are actually utilized on Clint.
Oh,
because we
man.
like to, keep things.
We like to just do what we do here.
On the up and up.
So speaking of, we just bashed the NFL for 40 minutes, and we're not done with the entertainment industry. By the way, the NFL is part of the entertainment industry. I don't care if they're athletes or not.
Yes, it is discretionary cash.
No more different than the WWE is. They just do a different sort of show every week.
Yep.
So anyhow, Harvey Weinstein. Wow. Earlier this week, they're up to, I believe it's 23 accusers of Harvey Weinstein using his position to grope, fondle, and do other things to unwilling women in order to get parts. As a result, by the way, if you don't know who Harvey is, oh, well, dear old Harvey is a really good friend of the Clintons and the Obamas. He's a humongous Democrat. He absolutely is a huge leftist supporter, anti-gun, anti-conservative,
if you've been to the movies,
and
you've seen a Harvey Weinstein
if
film.
You've been to the movie, and I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite films of all times was produced by Weinstein, which makes me sick.
Which one?
Clerks, Kevin Smith movie from way back in the 90s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but we should quantify
brilliant
who
movie.
Harvey Weinstein is. He's not a director. He's not an actor. He, quite frankly, he does appear to be, to me, the kind of individual that I'd look about for being responsible for pederasty. He does fit that visage to me. And he's not an actor, but he does produce, which means that he's the guy that throws cash at films and hopes to make a certain percentile ROI or return on investment. So he is responsible for throwing cash at any number of Hollywood films. Now, when you throw cash at films, that also means that you get to make a certain amount of decisions with regard to which way the film goes, and you also occasionally get to choose, or if you're a big producer like he is, you get to choose who you're going to have for a cast,
everything,
who you're going to have for a director, if you're as big as him. And the success of his movies, because they have primarily been very successful.
Very much
then you start to have directors that are lining up to be with you, DPs who want to be with you, cast members, actors, actresses, crew, etc., who want to work with you because you have a history of a really good return on investment for the corporation that you're working for, whatever movie corporation
the Weinstein Corporation
was. The Weinstein Company is
enormous.
Big.
Enormous. One of the biggest in Hollywood.
The Weinstein Company is now operating.
Sans Weinstein.
Without Weinstein.
Yeah. Has been removed. His wife has left him. There is an audio, and I have yet to know if it is confirmed by the NYPD, but there was an audio in which a sting was being done, I believe it was last year, via the NYPD, in which a voice, allegedly of Weinstein, trying to coerce a young model to come into the shower with him.
Yep.
It is very creepy. It is very alarming.
Now folks in chat, if you've been on the internet and you've looked at a photograph of Weinstein, now I can throw out the names of Michael Moore and Helen Thomas, because that's the equivalent of what you'd want to see emerging from the shower. Now you just insert a fat guy, an older fat guy with a really thin beard and an ugly big old bulbous nose.
Your beard's thick. Go ahead.
Yeah. My beard is luxuriant.
It is luxuriant.
It is. It's a luxuriant thatch.
Yes.
Woodpeckers could live in here, for God's sakes.
As a matter of fact,
they may have, as far as I know. When I'm asleep,
I remember you had me kick one out not too long ago for not paying rent.
Yeah, that was a tick, I think.
It was a damn big tick.
Yeah, it was. In any event, look at Weinstein and then imagine with this poor gal. Basically, he wanted to, I don't know, can I say this? He wanted her to look at him in the shower so that he could onanate, let's say, in the shower.
Wow, that's a big word for it.
I know.
I was going to say whale one out.
That too.
At the end of the day, you now have...
Just... God, that's gross.
You now have more actresses coming out and saying, hey, yeah, he kind of got to me too. The other weird thing that came out of this, and it's horrific. I mean, listen, this guy's a monster. He was going after these poor gals. Essentially saying, hey, it's the casting couch. If you want to make it in Hollywood, you got to make it with me first, is essentially what he was doing. You now have other males coming out and saying, yeah, in order to get movies, I had either female or gay producers grab and grope on me. Rob Schneider, Terry Crews have both come out and said that. You had Gwyneth Paltrow come out and say it about Weinstein. But then you also had Ben Affleck, who did movies. Good Will Hunting was a Weinstein movie, who came out and said, hey, if I knew this, this is disgusting and horrific, and I didn't know this about Weinstein, and I'm offended. And then there was an actress, and I forget her name. I apologize. I blanked. I had it not too long ago, who came out and said, well, wait a minute, Ben, you did this to me. And now he's since apologized. It's unloaded. Tinseltown.
Wait, when we're talking about systemic.
Oh, yes.
It sounds as though we might be able to use the word systemic with Hollywood.
There is, and I kid you not, there is a YouTube clip. And I'm going to see if I can find it. Seth MacFarlane, who does The Family Guy, a couple other things. And a very funny guy, whether you like his politics or not, because he's a leftist, but he's comedic. He's comedic. I enjoy him. He was hosting the Oscars pre-show a couple years ago, and made a comment about Weinstein.
Oh, right, the precursor to Insight.
Yes, and I'm gonna see if I can find it right here. Here it is, and hopefully it plays. Please click to watch this video. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, darn. Are you trying to tell me that leftist YouTube decided to take this out of YouTube?
This is so strange. It was right there.
I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, man.
While you're looking for that, let me tell folks about this. There's an attorney called Lisa Bloom. She happens to be the daughter of Gloria Allred. What do we know about Gloria Allred? She's a massive leftist feminist.
Humongous.
Her daughter decided that she was going to represent Harvey Weinstein, and further, that she was going to smear and attack his accusers. And again, can you make this stuff up?
Negative.
No, you can't.
And this is back in 2013. I found the clip. And this is...
Keep your music playing.
Hold on a second.
Even when you leave the app.
Let me try that again. This is their commercial, obviously, but this is off YouTube.
You 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
I'm going to play that for you again. This is Seth MacFarlane.
You 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
All 5 ladies were nominated for Best Supporting Actress. He was doing the announcement, and he said the words, "You 5 ladies no longer have to act like you're attracted to Harvey Weinstein." This is back in 2013. This tells you how prolific it was throughout Hollywood. And folks, Hollywood's falling apart right now.
Everyone knew. But wait, okay, this came out when a reporter by the name of Ronan Farrow, who I think is Mia Farrow's son, I'm not sure, there's some kind of a relationship there, but I'm not sure what it was. And they knew this for quite some time, and only just recently was the information released. There was a period of about 4 to 5 days before anyone said anything. Because what was happening is all the leftists were waiting to see if anyone was going to actually pipe up. So what you could hear were the crickets in the field. Friedit, 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 Friedit. And they're all going to keep quiet behind this shite, just waiting to see if anyone was going to break it. Well, yes, somebody did. And then the dam burst. And then everybody piled on and said, "Oh, I was, it's like Michael Jackson's sale, boys' pants half off." And then the tsunami began.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to be the first one to say it.
Everybody got wet pretty quick. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, yeah. Once the gates got knocked down by one individual, then it was okay to say.
Right.
But up until that, hypocrisy, thy name is Hollywood and leftist.
Yes. And it's unbelievably sad and pathetic that it had to come to this. It's sad to understand how well known, folks, any other industry, if you work in any private or public industry and you've ever taken any sort of harassment / sexual harassment class, one of the biggest ones they tell you as a manager, owner, supervisor, etc. is called quid pro quo. This for that.
Certainly.
You most certainly cannot say to an employee or potential employee, "You do a little of this, and I'll give you your job."
Scratch my back,
Yeah,
I give you a job.
I don't think it's scratching backs that they're worried about. But either way, if that wants to fall under the radar, whatever. But the reality is tons, millions, thousands of people have lost jobs because of it.
And
there's been people that have
pants sued.
There have been people who've lost their jobs because it was alleged and they said something that was just pleasant because it is taken so seriously. You go to Hollywood, all of those rules are out the window. Hollywood is the best example of democratic rule. If you have the money and you are in power, you can do whatever it is you want, and nobody says shit about it. Harvey Weinstein was one of the most powerful people in Hollywood. Everybody knew that he was a maggot. I'm not saying pedophile because I haven't seen the proof on that yet. Everybody knew that he was a deviant maggot. Everybody knew that this was going on. And listen, I go back to the whole, I don't care what 2 adults agree to do behind their doors. Not that sort of thing. This is using young women in your position because you can't get any other way.
I don't know. See, I think you're being awfully judgmental because he was an auteur. He was creative. He financed these movies that needed to be financed. He was a unique soul unto himself. And just like anyone else, all he was looking for was a little understanding. Sean, would you deny him that?
Yes.
Really? How
Yes.
harsh and judgmental are you?
Very harsh and very judgmental because the leftists who always talk about the common man, right? And it's always like, oh, the average person is just, their life is just horrific. And these rich people and the government and this and that and the other thing. Hollywood is socialism in a lot of ways, right? in a lot of ways, Hollywood is socialism. You have these people who are like, hey, you know what? If you're this type of actor, you're only going to be that sort of actor forever. You're typecasted. You're in that role forever. Hollywood is, money is in control. That is Hollywood. And look at, if you're a conservative in Hollywood, good luck, pal. Ask James Woods.
Well, yes, James Woods just recently said that he retired because he knew essentially he was not going to be getting any more jobs. But
again,
here's one great fact. Just in the past 2 months, I've seen trailers coming for 3 new films. Who did the Die Hard series?
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Conservative.
I've seen trailers for 3 new coming Bruce Willis films.
And he's an outspoken conservative.
And he is. But have you noticed how quiet he's been in the past 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Quite silent. Because he couldn't get parts. He couldn't get sent scripts.
Yep.
People would not let him read for a script. Now he's coming back. That tells me things are starting to change.
Well, because they have to. Same thing happened with Hollywood, right? You're not putting these certain actors, and the average fan doesn't care about the politics of an actor. They really don't. Just like I said with Seth MacFarlane, I think Family Guy's funny. I think Seth MacFarlane's funny. I don't like his politics, but I think he's funny. You're seeing that more and more. And now that you're seeing Tinseltown kind of falling apart, I think you're going to see a major shift in power in Tinseltown, not necessarily left to right, but now that you have that major Weinstein company maybe getting knocked down a few pegs, other companies are going to come up, and you may actually have conservatives at the helm. And one more thing about Weinstein. Here is a man who's been photographed numerous times with the Obamas. Here's a man who's been photographed numerous times with Hillary Clinton. Huge donor in the last election. And
up until today, what you heard from Hillary Clinton, and here's the juicy bit of buttery goodness that I'm sure you're about to say, and you Bigfooted me, so I get to Bigfoot you. Have you heard one word from Bill Clinton?
Oh, God, no. No.
Hillary.
Oh.
Hillary today.
God, no.
The Obamas today. But Hillary and the Obamas only came out when they knew it was safe. It's
After
safe
the rest
now.
of Hollywood, right? Now that you have leftists in Hollywood saying, ooh, we don't like Harvey Weinstein, he's gross and icky now, they're like, oh, we can do this now.
I guess it's safe for me.
We may lose Harvey's money, but we're not going to lose the rest of them, so that's okay. First, and the best part is Hillary Clinton, what a hypocritical pain in the ass you are as you're denouncing. That's right, I started a little bit. As you're denouncing Harvey Weinstein, you're climbing into bed every night with Bubba. I want you to think about that, ladies and gentlemen.
No, actually, what I submit is this. I don't think
they climb into the same bed.
That Bill and Hillary have probably been in the same zip code sexually for 30 years.
Doesn't matter. She talks all the time in public how she loves him. All the other things. And it's been well documented that he's abused probably more. Please, Hillary, try not to be a hypocritical lunatic.
I see we're almost at the break, and I got to throw this out real quick. When we come back, I'd like to only go through 2 more aspects, and then we can change the topic if you wish. But I have 2 little bits of buttery goodness that will point out the glorious hypocrisy within this all. I can't wait. So, folks, you got to hear.
You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. We can go to break now here on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show. Also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver Common Sense Show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reverb Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live in the SHR Media Network. You had two other points for Weinstein before we put a plug in it and move on?
Yeah, one of them is just this kind of stuff never stops. I told you about Lisa Bloom, who is the daughter of Gloria Allred, massive leftist,
Yes.
massive feminist,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
So what was going to happen? Lisa Bloom suggested a tactic as old and ham-handed as former President Bill Clinton's bimbo eruptions to protect Weinstein. She was going to release photos of the accusers posing and smiling with Weinstein after his sexual misconduct took place. And then, again, this is great. I find great stuff overseas. This is from the UK Daily Mail. This is the headline. Hillary Clinton finally condemns her mega donor friend Harvey Weinstein, saying she is shocked and appalled. But keeps every cent of his tainted cash. Hillary Clinton was a friend of Harvey Weinstein, whose campaign coffers were boosted by his own cash and that of his celebrity friends. She finally spoke Tuesday afternoon, issuing a statement after 3 rape allegations were leveled at him. Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie also joined the list of victims before Hillary Clinton decided to speak. On Monday night, she spoke to a University of California at Davis to an audience whose ticket prices were $125 a head. And Monday night, did Hillary Clinton say anything about that? No, she did not. She did find time to claim that she herself was the victim of a double standard and that other women running for the White House would be too.
Speaking of double standards.
And so she She was shocked and appalled by the revelations about Harvey Weinstein. Did she give 1 penny of that money back and say something similar to, "This is tainted cash, and I can't, this is terrible. I must divest myself of it"? No, not just no, but fuck no.
Right. Right. Not even kinda. Not even a little bit. Not even sorta.
Yeah.
And we discussed just before we went to break that Weinstein all of a sudden needs to go out of the country for a rehab stint.
Yes, he decided, let's see, today, Wednesday, Tuesday.
Monday.
Either Monday or Tuesday, the press was indicating that he decided that he needed to jet away to Europe to go into rehab for this terrible sexual compulsion that he had. And as you said, the second I said that,
Roman Polanski.
what did you say?
Roman Polanski.
There you go.
He's going to go overseas and never be heard from again. He's going to go to a country that won't extradite him.
What did people say about Roman Polanski?
They want him to come back and have all the charges get dropped?
That sexual stuff, that doesn't really mean anything.
It was an accident.
Roman Polanski was lionized as a creative genius.
Yep.
Do you not think that crap went through this guy's head, thinking, well, if it worked for a little thin guy, it ought to work for the big fat guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've got a hell of a lot more money than he does.
You've had leftists in the last year come out and defending Roman Polanski.
Oh,
even still. Even still.
Because now there are allegations being revealed that this is great. When he was in Europe, he was again diddling 15-year-olds.
Same thing. Same exact thing.
And then, gosh, who's the chick?
Senior moment.
On The View.
Which one?
The black chick.
Oh, Raven Simone.
No.
Cosby.
No.
Okay.
Been around for a while. Comedian.
Oh, Whoopi.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi.
This is great. Whoopi Goldberg said with regard to that allegation against Roman Polanski, she said, well, rape is not always rape.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
When was the last time you heard that from a government entity in the state of California?
Not always rape.
Right.
Oh, and then what did Hillary Clinton say? Hillary Clinton said every woman who alleges rape needs to be listened to.
Yes.
Didn't she?
When it's convenient. When you're trying to get feminist voters.
Wait a minute. Are we trying to suggest that perhaps Hillary Clinton and Whoopi Goldberg are at philosophical loggerheads here because we need to believe every woman's allegations and, well, rape isn't always rape. You know those 15-year-olds constantly throwing themselves down, on 40 and 60-year-olds. Yeah. Hell, it happens to me all the damn time. Right. BZ can't go into a damn market without that happening. And if you believe that, ... But again, the rampant, incredible, stupid, sizzling, brain-glazing hypocrisy of the left. And it will never stop because they do not have the capacity to cease. It is not within them. It is a gene.
That's ridiculous.
It is a dysfunction. Leftism is it's a genetic defect in society.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
And these people who are leftists like this are genetic mutants.
Yes.
Who have no core, no philosophy, no morality, and can equivocate whatever need be, and it's all situational as long as they come out number one.
As long as the rules work in my favor, I'm happy is exactly what it comes down to.
Isn't that odd how that works out?
And that's leftist 101 for you folks. That's Democrats 101.
Yes.
Right there.
Mary Brockman says, let's see, the talking toadstool. Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Whoopi fan. I think she's an idiot. That's just me personally.
Yeah. So Whoopi's right. There are gradations of rape. It wasn't rape.
California agrees, right? Because now you have certain levels of rape being considered nonviolent offenses.
Well, yes, that's just for statistics. But after all, it is California.
No, it's not just statistics.
It is California, because I guess that means that if you just put the little tippy tip in and then you say you slipped, it wasn't rape, okay? So let's have some degrees of sanity here, shall we?
Yeah. You're talking about Hollywood, Chief.
Yeah. All right, Chief. It wasn't rape, so we don't need to go after this case.
It's pathetic, is what it is. It's pathetic. Let's move on because
I guess we've beaten this enough.
Yeah, as much as I would love to beat Harvey Weinstein, I think that this has been enough.
I say you can look at him. I used to work child abuse. A lot of my suspects look like him.
All they're missing is the Coke bottle glasses and use their first, middle, and last name.
Yeah, and a number card under their chin.
Oh, you're stereotyping pedophiles right now. You're right, I am.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Left profile, click. Right profile, click.
My buddy T-Bone says that all the time. You want a sure sign of a pedophile. They're either fat, pasty, and white, very, very thin, and very, weak, Coke bottle glasses, and use all three names. Tell me I'm wrong. And their hair gets slicked back. Tell me I'm wrong. Go look at any Megan's Law, any of those, and start scrolling through, and you're going to go, son of a bitch.
Remember, a little dabble do you.
God.
Yes, my son.
So let's move on.
Okay.
I want to update Vegas because, God, you would think after, 8 days, 9 days, there would be some sort of credible and intelligent information that's come out about the shooter Paddock. Still nothing. They're focused more now on the story between the security guard and MPD than they are on the actual shooter.
We'll be up front. I was trying to get Sean and me together for a special show on, I think it was Sunday night.
Yes.
And it turns out I couldn't do it. But Sean and I wanted to get together and just have a 1 hour or 2 hour special show just on the massive discussion that we'd been having just between ourselves the past 2 or 3 days before that. And we came up with any number of
theories,
possibilities and reasons, etc. Mm-hmm. And I found that really engaging. And I thought, okay, if we could pull that off on Sunday, which is why I had that thing special report produced, because I was going to have that utilized during the show.
This is an SHR Media Network special report.
Yep.
And that didn't happen. But it was all going to be about what was occurring in Las Vegas. You cannot tell me that there aren't things that these people know that they're simply not revealing. And I think for whatever reason, there's now somewhere in this mix a form of very serious incompetence.
Yes.
I think that's going to be found to be a factor, despite the fact that, well, number one, when you have so many agencies like this working together, coordination is going to be a bitch kitty. I know that for a fact.
Huge.
And you can't tell me that there aren't at least 5 to 10 holdbacks on this particular case.
Well, and it's a bitch on a small-scale incident. Right? You start looking at the amount of evidence, information, trails, where it's going, leads, conversations. Forget it. Forget trying to coordinate it. And I'll tell you right now, BZ, you just brought up holdbacks. I am hoping in my heart of hearts, and people yell at me if you want, don't yell at me, whatever. I don't give a shit. The reality is I'm hoping that they're holding back a major key from public eye, and it hasn't been leaked yet, because they're trying to catch a single person or persons who helped perpetrate this crime on some level. And I'm hoping that they're doing this, and I tweeted this out the other night We don't have the right to know what's part of the investigation as it's active and ongoing.
No, that's true.
I know
that is correct.
I know people are convinced with social media and the news, we have the right to know what's going. No, you don't.
No.
You don't.
But
it's a mass murder situation. Your little social media, Twitter, Instagram, fuck feed does not demand constitutionally that the investigation gets open and released to you. That's not how it fucking works. And for the sake of those who have perished and been injured, the integrity of the investigation should be paramount amongst you feeling a little bit better or trying to jump on your political fucking high horse or this or that. And it tells you how insane the media is being driven because they're discussing timeline shit. And now they're so mad at the Las Vegas Police Department for not telling them everything in this investigation that they're starting to turn on them. They're starting to go after the SWAT team about how long it took them to respond, more so now than before.
Yes.
They're trying to say that they were intentionally misled, the public and the media was, that things happened sooner in a different order. The fact that it came out that now the security guard obviously was shot before the shootings happened. All of these different things. Well, folks, I don't know how to tell you this, but when you have a crime scene that involves almost 600 people, thousands of pieces of evidence, 400 yards apart from the point of incident to the point of people being shot and killed, all of that, yeah, they may not nail the timeline down on a public manner right away. Oh, what's on the note? That's my other favorite one. The note. There's a note. Why don't we know what's on the note? We need to know what's on the note. We have the right to know what's on the note. Was it a suicide note? What's on the note?
The note is interesting insofar as I had information indicating the note wasn't a note per se. It was a series of azimuth and elevation
calculations
with regard
Dope,
to
as snipers
shooting
call it.
from an elevated position
Yes.
and down below.
Yes.
Now, that said, and if you haven't seen this photo, you can get on your favorite search engine, and you probably have already seen this photo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to describe the photo, and then I'm going to tell you how it got that way.
Okay.
And when I tell you how it got that way, you're going to say, oh my God, that security guard dude. And that's this. Picture in your brain the photo that you've seen of the door of that suite. There's a right-hand door of that suite, and there's a second door that's open. And as you look into the suite, you can see a long gun on a bipod inside. You know it belongs to him because you can see the carpet that's revealed inside matches the carpet that's that's right to the back of the head. There, photographs are all over the internet of the suspect when he shot himself, and at the top of his head there's a revolver.
If he did.
Now, whether that revolver was definitely used in his suicide, I do not know, and to me it's immaterial at this point. Now,
I've heard he used a rifle. It doesn't matter.
It took me quite some time to realize and to put all of this together. Looking at that particular photo, the door on the right-hand side is closed. The door on the left-hand side of the photograph is open.
Open, breached.
Yeah, that's not a door. And it wasn't open.
Yeah, they breached through it.
That's what happened when the breach occurred, and also he fired so many rounds through that door that the door crumbled.
Yep, 200 rounds.
And that's the amount. That's the assault. The amount of firepower this guy had within shooting inside into the hallway and across whoever the poor bastard or bastardette was that lived in the room across the hallway.
Yeah, down the hall the other way. So, God. And now the media is attacking this poor security guard. By the way, security guard, they probably make $15 an hour.
Yeah,
unarmed, no body vest, none whatsoever. This kid,
but he did the right thing.
I don't care.
He placed a phone call.
Yes.
There were two guys up there.
Yes.
One security guard and another guy
maintenance guy.
Yeah, there was a second guy. They made a phone call immediately.
Yep.
When that happened. Immediately. I see. You cannot fault them at all. The other question that I have is this.
Well, and I just want to set this up for a second.
Okay.
Because people are saying, well, how long did it take them to notify somebody? Look, I don't know how old this guy was, the security guard, but you just took 200 rounds through a door, one to the leg. You're a security guard. Probably not what you signed up for.
Yeah.
You were investigating a door ajar alarm. Probably not what you signed up for. But yet you still had the wherewithal to radio it, go to the police department, show them back to the room, explain what happened. And you also have to understand, too, the mindset of the police. Why did it take them so long? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Their timeline is off, blah, blah. Look at time and again, I've said this to you. Randy Sutton, a friend of mine, former Las Vegas lieutenant, has said this time and again.
He was interviewed. I saw him interviewed a few
Randy's
times.
interviewed quite a bit. He's very, very, very knowledgeable. But when you are in an active shooter situation, law enforcement is actively trying to seek and engage the individual. Once the active shooter stops shooting and locks himself into a location, you are now into a barricaded situation. At that point, your approach, mindset, everything changes.
Yes.
You now, and in this situation, they already saw the camera. They knew what he had for firepower in the room. They were worried about secondary IEDs. They were worried about defensive traps, all of those different things, because if they die going into that room and he goes mobile, or the other thing, too, is they don't know it's one guy in a room.
No.
It could have been 10 guys in there with the amount of rounds that were coming out.
And you're thinking there's at least two because logic tells you these two broken windows, you probably got two guys.
Right. So they have to worry about all of that. So they took their time. They went meticulous.
Well, and
I know people watch SWAT teams on TV kicking every door and jump through windows.
They pulled out the little card, and the little card goes ABC.
Yep.
Identify, isolate, evacuate.
Right.
Hello?
Yep.
Textbook.
So they were there making sure he didn't get out, not committing suicide themselves. If he started shooting again out the windows, they would have breached quickly, and it would have been a firefight inside that room. It didn't happen. They knew that he wasn't shooting. He wasn't going anywhere. They had to evacuate floors above, below, and around everything that they possibly could in case it turns into that firefight when they finally go in. It's their job to preserve the life of other people around as well as their own. And that's what they did. These guys are, I don't care what you say. Yes, he was dead when they got through the door. They're still heroes. Because as far as they were concerned, there was 20 guys with automatic weapons in there.
They have no idea.
And bombs and explosives.
Because you could draw a conclusion.
Yes.
Looking at the amount of firepower rained down from above.
That there's an army in there.
That you could conclude easily you may be dealing with 5, 6 or more individuals.
Right.
In
Minimum 4-man fire team. Minimum 4-man small unit tactics fire team. And when you're a SWAT team, you're a small unit. And if you're going, and normally these SWAT team professionals, they're used to taking out 1, maybe 2 guys in an operation like that. At that point, they had no reason to believe it was 1 or 2 guys. It could have been a 4-man fire team. Secondary IEDs, all of these different things, they could have been drawn in to get that whole room go boom. They don't know. They probably thought in the back of their mind that it was ISIS or something like that. They know that they have militant training. They know the possibility, i.e. pressure cooker bombs, Boston, that there could have been explosions on the other side. They were meticulous and slow, and they did their jobs to the best of their ability. Now, I want to take the news media view on this. They're now starting to attack these guys. They're now starting to attack the timeline. They're starting to attack LVPD. They're starting to attack the security guard. Why? Because the Vegas Metropolitan Police has not fed the beast. They have given them little tastes.
Oh, yeah.
They've done this. They have done that.
Yeah.
But they have not just come out and said, here's what we got. Here's our entire investigation. And I applaud them. And maybe they don't have anything yet. Maybe they are completely perplexed. Maybe they have no fucking clue what drove Paddock to go absolutely homicidal insane. Or maybe they know damn well and they're waiting for one thing to fall into place.
That's odd that you should mention Feed the Beast because that's exactly how I quantified it last night when I was talking about Dan Butcher and the response of the Texas Tech Department to the killing of their officer.
Yes.
And why they may have felt compelled to go ahead and try to release information, or they just kind of bunged things up. because the beast does demand to be fed incessantly, again and again and again. Now, whether you're saying the exact same thing, they almost don't care. It's just their maw is open and they say, feed me.
Yes.
And sometimes it's as simple as that.
Yep.
Now, we have about 5 minutes left. If you don't have any other thing, I'd like to interject this one particular story.
Did I take up all that time again?
Which I find extremely bizarre, because at the conclusion of telling you this story, you're probably going to ask yourself, all right, why? And I had no idea until today, but I saw this from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And the headline is, "Intruders entered Stephen Paddock's house in Reno. Police say." Well, wait. Why wouldn't they have that house secured?
Right.
From Reno, Associated Press, FBI agents returned to a house owned by Las Vegas shooter Stephen Paddock after local police determined someone had broken into the home over the weekend. Reno police officer Tim Broadway confirmed Tuesday that police were called to the house early Sunday by a neighbor who noticed a light on inside the home in an upscale Somerset community on the edge of the Sierra foothills along Interstate 80. Broadway says the officers discovered, quote, "Someone had broken into the house and immediately contacted the FBI. He says it's not clear how the person or persons gained entry or whether anything was taken."
Weird.
To me, that speaks volumes.
Yes.
It-
Yes. That's
it-
absolutely
it-
insane.
It can be as simple as someone has waited until they saw whatever police or federal presence was gone, and then said to themselves, maybe there's still an arseload of guns in there. Now, you'd have to be brain dead
to think that there was still
to
weapons
think
left
that
in there.
after the fucking FBI and all these police agencies went into the house of a mass murderer, that they would not have seized every possible shred of evidence extant. You'd have to be brain dead. Or tinfoil hat. There's something in there someone missed.
Yeah. There's something
But
in
the
there.
corollary to that is, what do you know about a scene? Even when I was in contact and I was in homicide and I kept a scene as long as I possibly could, even if I wanted to search a scene and it was fresh, there were still exigent circumstances involved. I would go out and get an actual search warrant, having someone hold the home for me so that I could keep that home as long as was necessary for the investigation, knowing that I was covered in a court later on by a search warrant duly signed by a judge.
Right.
Knowing that, I would have held it for as long as possible. Now, this occurred about a week ago. I don't know exactly how long the FBI or whatever police agency held that house,
But you know they got the search warrant pretty quick.
but it still makes me wonder, and maybe it's an issue of personnel, but of the extent, the massive extent of this crime. Why would you not, at least for perhaps another week,
hold it?
Hold it.
Yes. I don't understand that either.
Because you don't have to walk away. You have to. And I'm guessing that if they did it the right way, they got a warrant. Even though they occupied the house and could duly do it, they
got the warrant.
They could occupy the house, but to make sure that everything's
clean.
everything's on the up and up.
But the other thing too, you have a
wanna
guy
get
this smart,
warrant.
this intelligent, this amount of evidence and firepower. Don't you think you're going to want to rip it down to the insulation?
Never go away.
Right.
Because especially when you know, having secured that warrant, time is on your side. We got to go, I know that, but I'm just throwing that out in the mix. When I saw that home was burglarized, all the bells and klaxons went off in my head.
Yeah, all the shits, as we like to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the Sackheads Radio Show live in the SHR Media Network. This is the October 11th, 2017 show. Make sure you join all the great shows on shrmedia.com. You can get all the downloads on Spreaker. You can watch all the shows again on Facebook and YouTube. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pacific, the Bloviating Zeppelin is sitting in this seat right here for the Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Before him, you have Jersey Joe, Ralph, Melanie, and more. Make sure you check out Ralph and Shannon bright and early here on the SHR Media Network. And, of course, Jeff Donet's every Wednesday. And Ron Edwards has returned to the SHR Media Network on Fridays just before Melanie. We appreciate you. Oh, and Southern Sense, how dare I. Check out Annie and Southern Sense here on the SHR Media Network. We appreciate you guys spending your time with us. We'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast, right here on the Sackheads Radio Show. Have a great week.
Ciao, dude.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk than Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here, too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best in late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Sack Dude. Sack Dude.
Radio.
Sack Dude. Sack Dude.
Radio.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
In America.
Into the silo.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.